you were offered, I gather, the part in the sequel to Love Story. Is it harder to turn down the inappropriate offers than it is to shrug off the headlines?
No, it's not hard to turn down dreadful material, because you just know that everybody you know is going to go to the movies and see you.
But did you go through a process?
Terrible stuff.
Did you go through a process of your agent saying, "Now look, this is really worth so many thousands of dollars. You really should do it"? Or did you have?
Yes, you can't imagine how much money they offer you to do terrible things, but they have to, don't they?
Did you meet the producers who tried to persuade you that it was the most wonderful role ever offered?
Oh, no, I never even got to the point of meeting the producers, because you just open the first page and see that it's not that great, and it's not going to inspire you to do your best work. And I like to have fun doing what I'm doing, and if I'm not inspired by it, or if the juices aren't set flowing by a certain scene or something in the project that appeals to you, it's really very hard to work.
There is a very vulgar side to it, isn't there, in the way that one becomes a property. There's a quotation in that nice piece they wrote about you in Newsweek, where a producer not known, I think, for his subtlety, called Alan Carr, said he rated you at $350,000 to $400,000, not bankable, but a bargain in comparison to other actresses who get $1 million and don't draw any more than she does. Yes. Does it distress you to be considered as a commodity like that? It's
not only vulgar, it's just patently untrue. If I'd ever seen that much money, I don't know what I'd do, but no, it's odd. You have all sorts of people that you don't even know making comments about you.
Yes.
And I'm not really in it for the money. So I'm in it for other reasons, for other satisfactions.
You find one of the paragraphs in the Newsweek piece, I think, nicely hit off the sort of insipid girl that you find constantly that people are asking you to play.
Well, there's invariably a nude scene.
That's hardly insipid. Well, I suppose it's getting more insipid day by day.
It's kind of getting more and more common, but it's generally just shot in there for a point in the movie when it's lagging. You can tell. It makes up for other bad script.
Yes, there was a nice particular case of that recently, wasn't there, where you were asked to do a play with Jack Nicholson, and there was a nude scene, a film, I beg your pardon, yes.
I wasn't offered the job.
But there was a suggestion of a nude scene,
yes.
In fact, and you suggested that it might be nicer if he did a nude scene too.
Yes.
Was that?
They balked.
I think we might move on.
I know I left my son. I know that that's a terrible thing to do. Believe me, I have to live with that every day of my life. But in order to leave him, I had to believe that it was the only thing I could do. And that it was the best thing for him. I was incapable of functioning in that home.
You have been quoted as saying you didn't perhaps really like films because you're wheeled on like a vehicle. In Kramer and Kramer, you took to rewriting your own big speeches. Did that make both you and the writer feel better?
Well, the writer was the director in this case, and he said to me that he was unhappy with a certain segment of a courtroom scene that ends the movie. Or doesn't really end it, but it's sort of a high point.
You're playing a wife who is fighting for custody.
Yes, in a custody battle after a divorce.
With your ex-husband.
A little boy is involved, and he wasn't really happy with the segment that he'd written for my character, and he said, "Go home and see what you can do." And I was flying off to Indianapolis to visit my in-laws, and on the plane, I just sort of got some ideas, and I thought, "Oh God, they'll never use this," and brought it in when I got home, and he used it, all of it, the whole scene.